This is one word, two syllables. Ridiculous, right?
Welcome, everybody, to the Unfiltered Truth Training Camp Recap. I am your host, Phil Robinson. With me is Phil Jones, the homie, my brother from another mother, the incomparable, all of that stuff. Phil, what's good, brother?
Not much. How you been, man?
Sweating my
Back to
ass
work.
off. It's hot. It's hot. But you know what? Joint practices today. We've been going through all of this training camp stuff. We've been hearing about who could do what. Now it's time. We got these guys on the field, and we're starting to get a better understanding of what it is that we have going on here.
Yeah, things are starting to shape up a little bit better than, what people were assuming what the outcome was going to be with this team this year. I know that we still haven't seen our number one pick. He's still recovering. Let him recover. I have no problem with that. But been hearing good things about this defense. Now, you have people run around and say, well, we've heard such and such like this, and this before. But, the crazy thing?
What's that?
They're not, I will say it again. This defense is not going to be bad. I said it last year. The problem is you had injuries getting in the way. So you didn't have starters. But now the guys that gelled together at the end of last year when he was starting to get a little bit better, and then you had key additions like Tillery, and then now you got Max, and then now you're adding Byron Young into this mix. And Chandler Jones lost weight?
15 pounds. Paying dividends from what I've heard. It's all part of the process. These guys are they coming into camp and they're for real. They're not fucking around out there. And I know a lot of people have been in their feels because the moves that were made weren't necessarily ones that they were ready for, ones that they were familiar with or thought was the direction that they wanted to go with the team. But all of it's coming together, and all of it's going to pay dividends. The team is rallying behind the new quarterback, and on defense they got swag. They got dog. Everybody wants to attack. Everybody's getting to the quarterback. Everybody's getting to the ball. It's a welcome change of pace from a defense that couldn't do anything, that wasn't giving the offense any looks, to now we're officially in iron sharpening iron territory. You feel me?
Yeah, but again, that was one of the main problems last year. We weren't able to get to the quarterback. Now, again, yes, this is practice. This is training camp. But it's a joint practice. You're not going up against the same team. I mean, your same offense that you see every week. You're going up against the Niners. And to be able to get pressure and get within that backfield, I consider that as a plus. Well, I still have the mindset of I still need to see this same energy week one. Absolutely. Am I going to say, oh, this is going to be the best defense coming out this year? I'm not going to say that because, again, I want to make sure I see that on the field week one from the D-line, linebackers, who you said that apparently they've been looking pretty solid. And that's secondary.
The solid secondary has been great. The linebackers have been solid. The pass rush is getting home. As a whole, the Raiders had a very good day today out there at joint practices. And as you were saying about the beauty of getting to see a different team is that your defense now has to be kept on. They have to play honestly. They have to execute their assignments. They gotta fulfill their responsibilities. They gotta make their tackles, make their plays, and they're doing it without knowing what's coming. See, in practice, they get a feel for all of the audibles. They get a feel for all of the plays. They get a feel for what's going to happen based off the looks. But in joint practices, they're going blind. Now, I would say the only person who had a pretty good understanding of what they were going to see out there was probably Jimmy. And that's why the offense dominated, especially in the red zone where he was perfect. And we've said this time and time again, and you're going to hear us continue to say it all season long. Red zone, red zone, red zone. There are too many red zone threats on this team. Jimmy is too good in the red zone for us to be having scoring issues and leading the league in short distance field goals. I, for one, am just tickled pink that we're going to have drives get finished instead of stalling 5 yards from the goal line.
You still got the same offensive line intact. I mean, nothing's really changed, but again, I still do feel a slight sense of a battle that could be brewing at that right tackle position. But if it can be stability there, I'll be happy.
Right tackle and guard. Bars is not safe, and from what we heard about Von Ruten, but we didn't hear anything about Bars today because Von Ruten is taking it back to Steve Wisniewski and Kevin Gogan out here throat chopping dudes on the football field. This is just practice. You know, this isn't even in a game when it really matters. Said, and there's absolutely nothing wrong.
I do not care. We throw chopping people. Shit. Bring it back. Bring it back to the old days.
I don't see nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong.
Look. So, I mean, that was the whole thing last year. That right side. I mean, the Raiders still got shit done. But that right side, we need to know what's going to happen before week 1. What decision they're going to make. Are they going to ride with them or not? But we got to have someone that's going to be laying wood, going to be blocking, driving guys, protection, not getting pushed back into your quarterback.
Is that what you want,
got
Joe?
to avoid that. Say that again?
I said, is that what you want? I want a guy like Ruden who's out there punishing motherfuckers. I want a guy like Van Ruden who's out there throat chopping motherfuckers. I want a guy who's out there earning the respect of his defense. Like, did you just see that dude? This guy's out here throat chopping fools. He's crazy. I love it. Guy's an animal. Guy's a beast.
Oh, man.
Hey, what are you sending, Jimmy? I'm definitely not going to put my address out here on a YouTube video. Come on now. But solid day at camp for sure. The offense reigned supreme. They pretty much had their way with the Niners defense to keep it 100 with you all. Keep it all the way funky and solid. Jimmy knows all of their weaknesses, all of the defense weaknesses, and he was able to expose them. And while the defense should know some of his, it's different when they got the weapons that they do. And we've been telling people, and I'll continue to tell people, Jimmy has a lot to work with. This offense was supposed to have been dummy proof for the last 3 years in a row. and somehow it still didn't quite always make it to where it needed to get to.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's going to be the case this season. Now, how high do they ultimately go? Where does it ultimately lead them? Still remains to be seen. But I don't think that you're going to see too many boneheaded plays, too much screwing up. You're going to see full advantage be taken of all opportunities, because Jimmy is the kind of guy that wants to go out and dominate, that wants to just put a team away and hang large numbers on them and make people feel upset about playing them because he served them their ass. And that's what you want from your quarterback. You got to have killer instinct at this position.
No, definitely. You can't have a soft ass quarterback. You can't have no soft ass quarterback going out there this year. That shit ain't gonna cut it. Can't have somebody thrown into the dirt. Can't have somebody say, "Oh, please don't hit me." I need me a quarterback that's gonna be like, "All right, you hit me, motherfucker. All right, I'm coming right back at you."
Should Raider fans temper our excitement? It's just preseason. Why wouldn't you be excited? Honestly, like, look, this is football, man. And I put a tweet out earlier today when they just walked out to the field and were showing the guys stretching on both sides, running a little warm up sprints and whatnot, little get offs. If you love football, you love football. Okay, it doesn't matter what's going on. If you can just get a view of the field with guys on it and start smiling, you love football. So should you be excited? Absolutely. Is it just the preseason? Yes. So what? You haven't had football in months. Guys are hitting each other. Guys are getting ready. You have no idea what you're going to get until they get out on that practice field and begin to show you, till they hit somebody else, till they show you what they're capable of when the lights come on. So I wouldn't tell anybody to temper any excitement. Expectations are a completely different thing, though. It's way too early to have them. It's one scrimmage, and it's a lot. It'd be silly to overreact. They had a good day. Tomorrow could be completely different. Whenever one team has a good day in joint practices, there's usually a rebound the next day. So tomorrow will be really telling on what happens, how they bounce back, how they respond after getting a better effort from the Niners, because they got it taken to them today.
But again, I think this team's just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. We got to come out this year. We got to come out better than what we did. And as you can see in the practice today at the presser, Max Crosby, he's like, fuck this, man. I need to be back in the playoffs. I had enough of this bullshit. This
hard.
Going 6-11, 6-10.
Mm-hmm. Not making the playoffs, that he don't work this good.
This shit, it don't add up. Because you had about, 5 or 6 games that you should have won. Came down to the final minutes and seconds. Lost by a point.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make no damn sense. But here's Max Crosby on that topic.
This is your 5th year in the league now, I believe.
Yep.
How anxious are you for the Raiders to be a contender this year?
For me, I worry about the day. I'm worried about getting better today, and then tomorrow when it gets here, I'm worried about that. Every single day I come in here, I think about winning. I don't do this year-round to come in and not make the playoffs. I'm sick of that shit, and I want to keep winning. And I want to get back to the playoffs. I want to be in Cincinnati on the road, in a hostile environment. That's why I play the game. That's why I work the way I work. I come here and I do this all year. And like I said, I want to win championships. I want to be at the top of the game. I want to be the number one guy, regardless of position. And I work for that every single day. So, yeah, I'm fired up for this organization. I love all the people in here, and I'm really just trying to, be my best version of myself and lead, lead by example.
That's the kind of leader you want to get behind.
Yeah.
This with you when a guy coming out here and telling you, "Look, I worked too hard for this shit." That's the same thing you were hearing from Josh Jacobs last season. That's what you heard. What you've been hearing from Devontae Adams. Guys are
pay that man
of the work that they put in. Josh Jacobs absolutely deserves to get paid.
Pay that man.
And as camp continues, he's going to get closer and closer to getting his money. That right now, there's honest and truthfully not a whole lot of need for him to be there. I mean, yes, you want him out on the field. Yes, you want him with the team, and absolutely he should be there. But he needs to be there week 1. That's when you need Josh Jacobs to be out there on the field. From what I'm hearing, you're not during this preseason. You're going to see a bunch of young guys, bunch of guys who need to get an opportunity to put some play on the field and get some film together. And you're not going to see a bunch of the starters, but these joint practices, the tomorrow and then next week with the Rams, those are going to be your day. Those are going to be your days when you really get a chance to see what you got. And so far, there's a lot to like. So far, this team is looking a little better than what many Raider fans thought, because all I've seen has been doom and gloom, and we're headed for a top 4 draft pick this season. These players aren't playing for that. These players are playing to go to the playoffs. These players are playing with an expectation that they're going to be a contender.
I mean, a lot of it plays into the fact of who's all bought into what you're selling. Last year told you not everybody was bought in. Not everybody was on the same page, and some of them were starters. So when you have that and that disconnect in your locker room, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to make it to the playoffs. You're going to be shit out of luck. But now, new year, full control with the regime. You got your players. You have your coaches. Seems like these guys are fucking bought in.
Absolutely. And mentality is such a big thing, especially at this level. And you could see what a change, what a difference one guy really truly makes on this football team, because the vibe is totally different. The energy is so much more a Raider energy. I mean, let's call it what it is. This feels like a Raiders team. Your quarterback feels like a Raiders quarterback. Your guy who's cursing, your guy who's drinking, your guy who's chasing women. And I know a lot of people like to criticize me for saying this, like I'm trying to glorify that behavior. Athletes are a different breed of dudes. Let's keep it real. Said athletes are not me and you, at least not at the level that they are. Said these dudes are all about conquering on the field and off the field. And a guy who's leading you everywhere is the guy who gets followed everywhere. And that usually ends up turning up big on Sundays, or in instances where you need a leader to show up and you need a leader to lead men to the outcome that they desire.
In other words, you ain't got time for that pussy shit, all right? You don't. I mean, what else you want me to say?
It's the unfiltered truth. You give it to them straight, raw, and uncut.
You can't just be like, well, we may have a lead here, so maybe let's play conservative. Fuck no, you can't do that shit. Blow these motherfuckers out the window.
Every time. That's got to be your intention. You can't be wanting to just win and squeak by. You got to want to blow teams out week after week.
I'm going to tell you this off the get-go. If I'm any Raider player right now, if I am any fucking one of them, any motherfucker that does ring around the goddamn rosy with me, I want to break your fucking neck right now.
And you after the whistle. You ain't gonna do that shit no more.
Fuck that. I pay the fine.
Old school clothesline. Just take
like
it.
That talking shit don't mean nothing. What you do on that field is what matters. And that's what they got to do all season. Even your backups, even your third string. Shut the fuck up and do your working on the field.
Let your play do the talking. It's funny, that's what your quarterback said, was that he's gonna remember everything that was said, but he's gonna let his play do the talking. So you can say whatever you want to about Jimmy. You can say whatever you want to about the Raiders. You can say whatever you want to about this offense. And everybody's going to remember that. Actually, there was a little story about Kyle Shanahan apologizing to Max, because apparently when Max was doing his scouting combine interviews, they got at him foul. And Max said, look, he remembered everything. He remembers everything. If you said something, you did something, he gonna remember you, and he gonna jot it down, and he's gonna work towards that to make you wrong, to prove you wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you might have put Max on a milk carton or something. I don't know. But you said he gonna remember that shit.
Hey, he remember that shit, and motherfucker been getting sacks ever since.
Is shamed into greatness.
Shit, I'd do a Joe Jackson route on that whole damn team. Shit.
Hey, if that's what it takes, I'll be that man. Hate me all you want to, but make sure that you got there.
Real talk, bro. That's how I fucking feel. I really don't give a fuck. All right? I just need your ass to play good out there. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you ain't anybody want to step to me. You know, I got the baseball back in the truck. But anywho, but the fact of the matter is, I need our fan base to like really get behind this team, because since we moved to Vegas, we really haven't been behind our team. They're trying to do everything right. They're trying to say, hey, you know, we're going to make this move. We're going to try to get a regime that is, or excuse me, a front office that knows what the fuck they're doing. We're trying to get a coaching staff that knows what they're exactly trying to do. We're trying to get players to play the positions that they actually know where to play at. I mean, what the fuck? Everybody want to bitch and cry. Well, we need to bring back this guy. We need to bring back that guy. Stop living in the fucking past and let's move forward. We cannot move forward as a fan base or team and we continue to live in the fucking past. Because this shit ain't helping. Everybody bitching and crying over spilt milk. We still doing fucking reports, and motherfuckers want to bitch and cry about losing their former quarterback and all that shit. Shut the fuck up. I say it again. Shut the fuck up. Stop bitching about the damn quarterback. This is the first time I even said the motherfucker quarterback. Former quarterback. I'm not even going to say his name anymore because I'm trying to move forward. And motherfuckers still doing the same shit like, oh, McDaniels and them. They didn't know. They're terrible for the team. Mark Davis is shut the fuck up. You're spreading fucking misinformation and shit. I'm tired of this shit. Just because you got so many goddamn followers don't mean you always fucking factual or fucking spreading the correct information. That don't mean a fucking thing. Some of you guys that be grabbing all these followers, you manipulate people to believe in bullshit. I'm going to need y'all to shut the fuck up. sitting in there thinking some fucking conspiracy theory like fucking Dale Gribble, my man that used to do the voice of Dale Gribble, rest in peace, my guy. But the fact of the matter is, you got to stop putting bullshit out for folks. All right? Stop it. From somebody that is media, sports media, well, shit, fucking media in general, and also a content creator, stop putting bullshit out. Cut it up. Wrap it up. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just stop it. Because you got people running around here with their head up their ass talking fucking nonsense, and they look dumb as shit, and everybody's like, damn, is your fan base really that dumb? No, you know, it's just somebody spreading some misinformation, some bullshit. It's got to stop. All right.
It definitely does. And so we're going to stop it right here, and we're going to keep moving forward and do some of that forward thinking, because the defense has been getting a lot of credit recently. I know we've been looking at some of the interception counts that Jimmy's been throwing, and a lot of people have stepped up and said, oh, well, he's back to throwing them interceptions. But now they throttled the Niners passing attack. And to my recollection, Brock Purdy had yet to throw an interception in practice, and he threw quite a few of them to the Raiders today. And a large portion of what's going on is because of the defensive front. Now, we've talked about the secondary, we've talked about the linebackers, but a point of emphasis for you and I has been the point of attack, the tip of the spear, so to speak, the defensive interior, the pass rush, the defensive line. We've heard Nesta Jade Silvera's name as dominating in one-on-ones and on the field. Byron Young recently got cleared, Friday? Last week?
Yeah.
He's on the field. He was on the field putting up solid work in one-on-ones, just like he did at the Senior Bowl that you covered and told us about. Chandler Jones, lost 15 pounds, is down to 250, and losing the weight is paying dividends. He's back to looking quick. He's back to having an explosive spin. He's getting to the quarterback. And Max, honest and truthfully, I'm going to give him his props right now. I've been saying for a long time that Max needed to take up MMA in order to start learning how to fight guys' hands off of them and get better at wrist control. And he may have done that. He may have just gone just because he wanted to fight an MMA fighter. Who knows? It's what he did. But Max is saying all the right things. Max is doing all the right things. Max is out there putting in the work. Max is out there leading guys. He's doing absolutely everything that you could ask a player to do. And that's why he shot up to being ranked 17 out of the NFL top 100. And he told you he's coming for that number one spot, whether it doesn't matter, regardless of position. And I really, truly, honestly believe in him. And I think that he's on the precipice of doing something special, whether it's this year or next year. His best years are going to be coming pretty fucking soon. And I expect that he's going to step up. And now with let's say with the path to becoming the leader on this team is currently open and unobstructed for him.
I mean, he's already one of your main leaders. But turning to being one of the faces, yeah.
Truth is the truth. And, we can all make up stuff. You can make up stuff up until the time that you hit the field. And then once you hit the field, all is revealed. It doesn't matter what you think, because at that point, we're going off what we saw. And if you know football, you should be seeing the same things.
Yeah.
You said the Raiders' offensive line was getting whipped in one-on-ones. That's literally, you are the first person I've heard say that. The first, not only the first, the only one.
Are you talking about, like, when he mean by one-on-one drill, we talking about, like, right there in the trenches, or we talking about over on individuals.
Well, I got to say, one-on-ones is probably individuals, but even regardless of it being in the trenches or not, I mean, you are still the only person I've heard say that. I'm not disputing it. I'm just saying you are the only person I've heard say that. And I'm talking to people who saw practice, the portion that the media saw up close and personal.
That's like he's the first person out of what?
Everyone,
4 or 5, about 5 or 6 other people that said that.
Of people that were there anyway.
Yeah.
But Nesta Jade has been having a great camp. Everybody's been hyping him up, not really hyping him up. Call it accurate reporting. They've been saying that he's been looking good. They've been saying that since the pads came on, he's been showing out. He's a big old country boy from Florida, pushing the pile, bowing up on dudes, hitting them spins, showing off the pass rush moves, doing everything that you need from your defensive interior. And he wasn't the only one. Like I said, I mentioned the young guys. Jerry Tillery's been getting off and doing his thing. Bilal Nichols has been doing his thing. The defensive line as a whole appears to be much improved from last year. Now, is it because of Rob Leonard taking over? It could very well be as simple as that. It very well could be. But the defensive line being much improved is probably the single best news you could hear about this defense. And that's including the much improved secondary, because if the defensive line is getting after the quarterback, the secondary don't have to be that good.
I mean, to be honest, when you look at certain other teams, I mean, look at the Chiefs. When the Chiefs are able to get pressure with their front seven, they don't have to really worry about the secondary. But they're not getting this shit. Most of the times you see their secondary getting cooked. They're getting shredded. It all starts with that front seven up front. And I mean, that's the same with Washington as well. I mean, they will maybe have like one or maybe two guys that are good on that back end, but because you got guys like Allen, Payne, Young, and what's the other kid I say? But you having guys within that rotation or front seven, it's difficult to throw against them because you always got a big man right up in your face. So the Raiders able to capitalize in doing that, they're not going to have a problem. But now, that being the best part, you actually got corners that can get the job done as well. So if things come together with that front seven and your corners and your safeties are good, that'd be a damn good ass defense. I'll tell you what.
Pass rush fixes everything. Everything.
Absolutely.
Pass rush. But we're good. We talked about the pass rush, and we are going to get to the secondary. And before we get to the most recent signing of Peters and the impact that he's had that coming straight out of Oakland, West Oakland to boot, I'm going to tell you right now that all of you need to pray for the continued health and longevity of Marcus Epps. I have heard from from OTAs all the way to as recently as about an hour ago that Marcus Epps is the fucking real deal out there in terms of and not just in terms of what his play, but his organization, his getting guys lined up, calling out plays, making sure guys are in the right spot. And you've heard the results over the course of the last few days. You heard the results today. He's taken away some of the passing lanes. They're making it so that there is nowhere to go with the football, or you got to hold it late and make late reads, bad throws, and that usually ends up as turnovers and points going the other way. They put up a mega shit ton of interceptions in the last couple of days. I'd say, in the last week or so, they're up around 20 interceptions that have been reported. They are being exactly what this defense was supposed to be. And yes, it's time to give this man his flowers too, Charles. I'm glad you brought that up. I've heard nothing but great things about Robert Spillane. Nothing great things.
I told you, Cade.
One day you'll listen, but you know them young whippersnappers, they know everything. You can't tell them
Damn
shit.
Thundercats, man. I tell you, man, they don't never listen.
One day they're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. So they on Netflix, the quarterback, they talk about how the Eagles are best at communicating and setting up the defense. So he's bringing that here. Listen, the mental aspect of the modern NFL football game cannot be understated. It is the single largest part of the game. So most of what you see on the field is a reaction to all of the work and all of the mental work preparation that goes in during the rest of the week. And if he can get guys in the right spot, if he can properly identify what it is that they're going to do because of tendencies and formations, and everybody's in the right place and everybody knows what they're doing, and most importantly, they know what their job is so they can do it, and we ain't got nothing to worry about. Patrick Graham has got a wealth of knowledge and a bunch of different play designs. I know people have got on him about not blitzing as much as they think they should have. Believe me, I was one of them till I watched him start calling them, and then I saw that the personnel grouping that he had was just simply incapable of doing it, of executing it the way that it needed to be executed. But that's not the issue that he has now. He doesn't have an issue. He has guys for every type of situation. He's got guys for every formation. He's got guys for every circumstances. And right now, you're looking at a roster that is going to end up cutting good football players to get to 6-man depth at the defensive line and then the defensive backfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Cool Kev. Getting them to be comfortable in their role and allowing them to play fast instead of thinking. It's what's going to put them over the top, and then you sprinkle in a little bit of dog and tell them that you see that little round thing over there, that pigskin. So you need to get that and bring that over here, and they're doing it. And turnovers with this offense is going to be a really, really good thing. Really good thing. That will probably be your difference maker and what gets them to the playoffs.
Man, if that little conversation is 99.9% true. Woo-wee, just saying.
Just saying.
But they're not going to say, I told you so.
Austin Hooper paying dividends today. His name hasn't been called. We've all been on the Michael Mayer train. Austin Hooper is a former Pro Bowler. Austin Hooper was part of the Falcons team that came up a little short. Yeah, it came up a little short. But it wasn't due to a lack of trying. He got out there, and then he left Atlanta and went to Cleveland and got stuck in a bad situation with no quarterback but he's here and he's putting it in. He's penciled in to start, which I think is the right move, because then it allows Mayer to be in the traditional blocking tight end role on the left side of the line instead of the right on the weak side. Or I guess you could put him in the strong side and double tight formations and let him block and release or hit the seams. But basically, it's just one more thing, one more matchup that the defense has to account for. And this offense is capable, with the players that they have, is capable of putting a lot of stress on what it is that the defense wants.
Well, not even that, Phil. Like, you got to remember. So I covered his conference back when they played Army and when Notre Dame played Navy. I covered that game, and the one thing I caught with Mayer, he can, if he wants to, he can move a little bit like Waller. He ain't got Waller like flexibility and speed, but when you put him in the slot, you can line him up on the outside. Oh, that man's a threat.
Beast.
So when people feel that the Raiders' offense is going to take a decline, that's fucking horse shit on so many levels. Because the fact of the matter is, and God forbid, we don't have Josh Jacobs. I hope we have him here week 1. But they're set. They are. They can get something with the running game. They can get a push with that O-line. Their tight ends are set. The wide receivers are set. I'm sorry. If you sleep on them offensively this year, you're dumb as hell.
You're going to lose.
You're dumb as hell.
You're going to lose. Sleep on them if you want to. Say they're going to be trash. You're going to lose.
Right. And the fact that people are sleeping on Austin Hooper is just stupid, because he actually did good for Tennessee last year. Again, his down year was with the Browns when they had the quarterback carousel.
Mm-hmm.
And they were more favorable with, David Njoku. And I get that. If you're a quarterback that's like usually your backups, I mean, you throw to your number 2 and number 3, you're usually comfortable with that guy. And I mean, Njoku really came out of his shell and really started getting shit going. So I get it. But Hopper has always been a good tight end, a reliable one, and especially in the red zone. Something that we need going this year.
It's going to be a different story in the red zone. A much, much different story in the red zone. One that everybody's going to look forward to, because you're going to love to celebrate these touchdowns. You look at all of the weapons that they have, and if nothing else, you can look at what they have and say, in the red zone, they are going to be absolutely unstoppable. Too many options. And if you do somehow manage to stop every option that they have, then you got a quarterback who's not afraid to take a bootleg into the end zone when the opportunity presents itself. And he hangs on to the football when he crosses the pylon too. I hear that's an occupational requirement. Hooper, Austin Hooper, the tight end. Please run up the likes, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to smash the bell for notifications. Please so that you can be notified whenever we go live. I know it's been kind of sporadic, and we're working on that.
Yeah, we'll get back. We'll get back on it. That's a little bit on my part. I apologize. I know you guys been looking for news, content, and whatnot from me and Robinson. My job lately was a little hectic. I had to go through my little process of audits and all that crazy nonsense. So, everything is back on track, back on normal, regularly scheduled program. So we'll be back. We'll be back a little bit more. We'll probably give you guys we'll be back on After Dark. I'll be back this weekend. And we'll also do a little recap from after this Niners game. I mean, it is the first preseason game. So, again, guys are going to have the ups and downs, and we're going to probably get a better look at, week 2. That'll be the real good look of what you're going to see from out of this team going forward into the season. And don't forget, I will be getting ready to start back up my fantasy football league. And this time, we will have money on the table.
And room for everyone, even if we got to open up a few of them.
Robinson, you have anything else to add on?
So a couple things to add on, and one that I hadn't necessarily spoken to you about, but I'm sure you'll be in agreement. We'll get to that in a minute. But for this season, one of the things that I will be doing in addition to my regular coverage and writing with the Raider Ramble is I'm going to be giving you weekly updates and reports about the California boys on this team, Davante Adams and Marcus Peters, and all of what's going on, how they're looking, and all the news concerning them. So I'll be keeping tabs on them two boys all season long. So in case you're interested and want to know, follow me on Twitter. Look for my articles on LinkedIn, Instagram, and whatever for Davante Adams and Marcus Peters, in addition to telling y'all the truth about what's going down and what it is that you're seeing. And then for that bit of business that I was just talking about, games, we're going to be looking at doing an unfiltered pre and post game shows to help supplement some of this airtime and talk about what's really important and break it down, because I know that fresh off a game, that emotions can be running high, and you either need to figure out what the hell happened or figure out how exactly it all went right. And so we're going to be the ones to bring that to you and tell you once again that good, smooth scouting report that we used to do midweek and give everybody in the world, including the other team, the game. We're going to say that for the morning show so that we can see what exactly happens and keep it on the hush so that we're not giving away too much game.
No, I feel you. Oh, man. Oh. So you know what? I might. Nobody bothers me tomorrow. I might come on and just talk a little quick look at the roster, what we're looking at right now. So if you're going to be free, we can talk about it.
We'll see what's up. But short of that, that's the Unfiltered training camp recap. I'm Robinson. He's Jones.
This is one word, 2 syllables. Ridiculous, right?